Quentin Tarantino is stepping out of the director's chair and into the spotlight as an actor. Could this be the start of a whole new chapter for Hollywood's iconic filmmaker? Lantern Entertainment Quentin Tarantino, the genius behind masterpieces like Pulp Fiction, is making a comeback to the big screen, but not in the way you'd expect. Instead of calling the shots from behind the camera, the celebrated director is embracing a rare role as an actor in someone else's project. And get this, it's not just a quick appearance or cameo. According to reports, Tarantino has landed a substantial part in director Jamie Adams' upcoming film, Only What We Carry, marking one of his most significant acting gigs in years. Based on details from Deadline, https://deadline.com, 2025-10, Quentin Tarantino Simon Pegg cast in Only What We Carry, 12365971119. Tarantino shares the screen with a stellar lineup including Simon Pegg from Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, Sofia Boutella, known for The Mummy, and Charlotte Gainsbourg, Melancholia. Filming has already concluded, and it's being hailed as Tarantino's biggest acting role since he starred in Robert Rodriguez's horror comedy From Dusk Till Dawn back in 1996. https://film.com 776174. Year of the Vampire From Dusk Till Dawn remains a singular and bloody cinematic experience. This is a pretty big deal for fans who know Tarantino as the king of directing. Think of him donning a cowboy hat in his own films, but now playing a key character in someone else's story. Director Jamie Adams expressed her excitement about the project, saying, "It's always been a dream of mine to shoot an Eric Rohmer-style picture in Normandy, a dream that included collaborating with an exceptional international ensemble cast and crew. It turns out that by embracing the freedoms of independent cinema, that dream has come true. I'm forever grateful to the cast and crew of Only What We Carry for this moment." To put this in perspective for those new to Tarantino's world, he's no stranger to appearing in his own movies, often popping up in smaller, memorable roles, like in the wildly successful Django Unchained from 2012, or even his debut feature, Reservoir Dogs. But taking on a major part in another director's film? That's a fresh twist for the Oscar winner. But here's where it gets controversial. How exactly did Adams convince this notoriously selective auteur to join her cast? The details are still under wraps, but her previous works, such as She Is Love and Wild Honey Pie, might have caught his eye. Perhaps Tarantino saw something in her indie style that resonated with his own creative spirit. After all, independent filmmaking often allows for more artistic freedom, like exploring personal themes without the constraints of big-budget studios. Miramax, as for the heart of the story in Only What We Carry, set against the picturesque Normandy coast, the film is described as a thoughtful reflection on themes like love, loss, and the quiet strength needed to keep going. At its center is Julian Johns, portrayed by Simon Pegg, a former instructor grappling with his past, and his ex-student, Charlotte Levant, played by Sofia Boutella, who comes back home to confront unfinished business. Tarantino himself steps into the shoes of John Percy, Julian's longtime friend whose unexpected return unearths hidden secrets and forces characters to face uncomfortable truths. For beginners diving into Tarantino's acting, imagine this as a chance to see him in a more introspective, character-driven role. Far from the high-octane action he's known for directing, but still dripping with that signature depth. This development comes at an intriguing point in Tarantino's career. He hasn't helmed a film since Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in 2019, and his planned final directorial project, The Movie Critic, was unfortunately canceled early in 2024. https://film.com/156477/ Director Quentin Tarantino, no longer making The Movie Critic, last film. Tarantino has openly stated that he intends to stop directing after his 10th feature, which would make The Movie Critic his swan song if it ever gets off the ground. And this is the part most people miss. With no clear timeline for his return to the director's seat, fans are left wondering what his legacy-defining farewell might entail. In the meantime, Tarantino is keeping busy with other passions, like authoring books and penning scripts for others. For instance, he wrote the screenplay for a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood spin-off focused on Brad Pitt's character, Cliff Booth, with none other than David Fincher, 7, The Social Network, at the helm. https:/film.com/1829894/Brad Pitt/Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sequel, Netflix details. Clearly, the legendary filmmaker isn't ready to fade into obscurity. Whether through hosting podcasts, scripting for fellow directors, or now taking on meaty acting roles, Tarantino is staying engaged in the industry, but he's incredibly choosy about what he directs. His significant involvement in Only What We Carry alone elevates the project, making it a must-watch for movie buffs. But is this a bold new direction, or just a detour? Some might argue that Tarantino acting in indie films could rejuvenate his career, while others worry it distracts from his directorial genius. What do you think? Should iconic directors like him stick solely to their strengths, or is branching out a sign of true versatility? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear if you're team director or team actor for Tarantino. Only What We Carry hasn't been given a release date yet, but keep an eye out for updates. We'll be watching closely.